Indiana Jones is totally, I think, a good example. You know, I personally love those movies, and they hook you right away because you get instantly thrown into, you know, some previous thing that he was doing, you know, trying to get that cross back. And the Last Crusade, you're thrown into when he was like 18 or something. And you're like, dude, this is fucking awesome, you know?
Yeah, I love Indiana Jones. I think that it's over the top stories with lots of characters and lots of things going on done right. Like it actually works and it's awesome and you like everything about it. There's nothing that is, it's so over the top and yet I always love those movies. Yeah. I mean, I think the only one I didn't like too much was the Crystal Skull or something like that, the very last one.
The fourth one. It was a bit more over the top than it should be.
Like, the one where his son died.
No, but I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. But like for me, my favorite was The Last Crusade, and what really hooked me was that opening scene when he was 18 years old, and you get to see him running across his train and all that. And it's like that opening, you're instantly like, oh my god, it's Indiana Jones, and he's 18. Oh, and that's how he got the scar on his chin. Oh my god, this is fucking awesome. You know, it's like that's what makes me love those movies because each one starts with something like that, with previous thing that leads up to it.
I gotta say one thing though about the Crystal Skull, which is that I think that if it had come out a couple of years after the other three, we would not only would we have thought it was awesome then.
Yeah.
I mean, not that we were alive, but well, Crystal probably was.
Thank you.
No, but I think we would still like it today, and I think why everybody kind of shits on the Crystal Skull, because I watched it. I didn't watch it when it first came out because I was like, oh, new Indiana Jones or whatever. And I watched it more recently, and okay, the aliens, like, I agree, I'm a little bit pissed off about that, but, like, why is
interdimensional beings, please.
Okay, I'm like, why are aliens any worse than magic? Why did everybody hate that when it was totally fine to have magic and the Holy Grail mysticism stuff in the earlier
Everybody knows
ones?
the Holy Grail is real. What are you talking about?
Right.
Have you not seen the Da Vinci Code?
Dodging that, like, loaded gun. So it's just that Spielberg and Lucas and Harrison Ford and everybody, it's like they've done so much since, and they've progressed so far as filmmakers that when they go back and make a movie that's kind of just like the other ones, we're like, oh well, that was cool so long ago. But you know, honestly, 50 years from now, when somebody watches all of them together, I don't think they'll have a big problem.
See, I disagree.
Yeah.
And here's why I disagree. Because the Crystal Skull, for me, the reason why I didn't like it was, the first part was because it didn't hold to the successful action of using real. It used too many computer graphics for me. Okay, that's one of the main things I really didn't like about it, because with the first three, it had to be all real. Like, I mean, sure, they could do like little Photoshop type things, but it's like you had to have, you know, a shitload of crates exploding or something, you know?
Right. Well, that's actually a whole separate.
That's a whole separate thing. So that's my first thing. The second one is that I was totally fine with him being old, but I didn't like the Russians as, you know. I mean, you could totally have Russians, but I didn't like the acting of the Russians.
They were fake Russians.
What the fuck do you have against Russians?
Oh boy!
Because I don't like the acting of the Russians.
But I argue against that. Like, go back and watch the Nazis, dude. They're not good actors, and they do not do good German accents. If you think they do, that's just because you grew up thinking that's what a German accent sounded like. Fine. It's not.
Valid point.
That's totally fine. In the first movie, you had the Germans. In the second movie, you had the Indian guys who were like ripping hearts out of people. And in the third movie, they went back to Nazis, right?
Right.
Now, if you ask what are your favorite two movies out of those three, it's the first and the third. Nobody says, oh, my favorite was the Temple of Doom, because it wasn't. Nobody fucking liked that movie.
I liked the Temple of Doom. That was my favorite one.
The Temple of Doom. We all liked the
Temple of Doom. Was your favorite Indiana Jones movie?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm quitting this podcast.
I'm booting her.